Welcome to the Character Factory, where we take fictional characters and build them in Pathfinder 1E. In the factory today, we have ASGORE, King of Monsters, also known as a big fuzzy pushover. But by the time he's done on the manufacturing line, no one's going to be able to push this man over. He's going to be clad in full plate armor while being able to rain down fire and keep his opponents from fleeing. Using 20.5 for the build, strength is 14. You're not as strong as Undyne, but you're still pretty damn strong. Dexterity is 12. You're not super agile. Constitution is 16, because again, you're not Undyne, but you're tough. Intelligence is 14. It takes quite a bit of smarts to run a kingdom. Wisdom is 8. Maybe if you had a higher wisdom, you would have held in your anger a little better and not declare a war that made your wife leave you. Charisma is 10. All the people love you. Granted, a charisma of 10 doesn't really show that too well, but we needed other things more. There isn't a magic goat race in Pathfinder, but there is a race that's good with fire magic, which is Ifrit. We're going to be a Sun Soul Ifrit, which gives you a +2 to strength and charisma, and a -2 to wisdom. We're also trading out fire resistance for Wildfire Heart, which gives us a +4 to our initiative. ASGORE is one of the first 2 monsters in the game that makes the first move in combat, but he makes it against your UI. We can't attack someone's UI, but we can work on getting first move like this. You get Dark Vision out for 60 feet, and you can cast Sun Metal once per day at will. Sun Metal adds 1d4 fire damage to your melee weapon for a number of rounds equals to your character level. Finally, we get Sun Soul, which is useless since we aren't taking the Celestial Bloodline or the Sun Domain, so I'm not gonna explain it. Our traits will be the combat trait Reactionary, to give us a +2 to initiative. Again, ASGORE actually had the first turn in that fight. Our other trait is going to be the social trait Rich Parents. We never see ASGORE's parents, but it gives you 900 gold at the start of the game, so you can assume you just took it out of the royal vault yourself and get yourself some good gear before heading out on your quest. The skills we need are actually very few, and by that I mean you need diplomacy, and that's pretty much it. You can do with the rest of your skill ranks as you will. ASGORE can't heal to my knowledge, so that knocks out most divine casters capable of fighting in full plate armor, so instead we're going to be a Magus, specifically an Armored Battle Mage. At first level, Armored Battle Mages gain the Medium Armor ability, which lets them cast Magus spells while wearing medium armor without arcane spell failure chance. And when you're wearing medium or heavy armor, you get a +4 on concentration checks to cast defensively. You also get the Arcane Pool, which has points equal to half your Magus level plus your intelligence modifier. For the time being, you can use this to give yourself a +1 enhancement on your armor, as a swift action which lasts for 1 minute. Now we get into the spells, and fortunately Magi have a very combat-focused spell list, so we'll get plenty of flames. First we get our cantrips, or 0-level spells. Arcane Mark puts your personal emblem on an object or living being, and you can use this as a sort of royal seal. Dancing Light summons 3 orbs of light or 1 vaguely humanoid light that follows you around. You can use it to wow the kids. Flare creates a flash of light in front of someone, forcing them to make a fortitude save or be dazzled for 1 round. Not great, but it's a decent debuff at early levels. Our first level spells are a bit more interesting, like Burning Hands, which creates a 15-foot cone of flame that deals 1d4 fire damage per caster level, and Frostbite, which deals 1d6 plus 1 non-lethal cold damage per caster level and causes fatigue. Magic Weapon gives a weapon a +1 enhancement, adding 1 to attack and damage rolls for a minute per level, to make up for the fact that we can't do this with our Arcane Pool. Shocking Grasp is a melee touch attack that deals 1d6 electricity damage per caster level and has a +3 to attack if the target is wearing metal or has a metal weapon. Touch of Combustion is an Ifrit-only spell that deals 1d6 fire damage on a successful melee attack, and if the target fails a reflex save, they catch fire, dealing 1d4 damage each subsequent round they fail their save. Your feat this level is Spell Focus Evocation. This adds +1 to the DC of all evocation spells you cast, which is good, because in case you haven't noticed, we're mostly going to be using evocation spells. Now I can hear you saying, "Spartan, what are you doing? ASGORE doesn't have lightning or ice attacks." But don't worry, I'm the head of this factory for a reason and I have a solution. Our next level will be Sorcerer, whose main gimmick is their Bloodline, which grants you a few abilities depending on which one you take. We'll choose the Elemental Fire Bloodline. The Bloodline Arcana we get from this lets you change the energy damage, such as acid, cold, and electricity, to match your bloodline type, and this affects all spells, not just your sorcerer spells. Now, Shocking Grasp is effectively Burning Grasp, and that's what we'll be doing for all of our spells here on. We also get a Bloodline Power, which in this case is Elemental Ray, which is a ranged touch attack that deals 1d6 fire damage to someone in 30 feet, and you can use as a number day equal to 3 plus your Charisma modifier. Sorcerers also get spells, and while we're starting to run low on fitting spells to take, we'll figure it out. Do note, however, the Magus medium armor ability does not affect your sorcerer spells, only your Magus spells. So there's a not so small chance you'll lose these spells if you try to cast them. Starting with cantrips, take Open Close, which can open or close things that weigh up to 30 pounds so long as it isn't locked, blocked, anything of the sort. This is your sort of regal entrance where the doors open before you even reach them. Ray of Frost is a ranged touch attack that deals 1d3 cold damage. Yeah, that's it. Cantrips aren't super useful. Resistance gives someone a +1 on all of their saving throws for 1 minute. Not super long and not super good, and it's a shame that's the case, or else you might have saved your kid. Spark is just a magic flint and steel that can set small objects on fire, like light a candle or something. For more first level spells, Snowball deals 1d6 cold damage as a ranged touch attack, so it's basically an extra use of your Elemental Ray, which isn't bad. True Strike adds +20 to your next attack roll. Ready yourself and land that first blow. Hopping back over to Magus now, and we get Spell Strike. Whenever you cast a spell with the range of touch, you can cast it through your weapon, turning it into a normal melee attack and dealing both the spell's damage and the weapon's damage. Touch of Combustion, Shocking Grasp, those are both touch spells. Channel your flame through your Trident. Back to spells, Light is a cantrip like Dancing Lights, but it's attached to an object instead. Again, use this to wow the kids at parties and such. For your first level spells, Shock Shield gives you a +2 shield bonus to your AC for a number of minutes equal to your caster level. And at any time while it's up, you can discharge it to deal 1d6 electricity damage to everything within 5 feet of you. Unfortunately, this also includes yourself. You should be fine though. Flare Burst acts as the flare cantrip, but affects all in a 10-foot radius. Still not great, but it's a higher DC and affects more targets, so it's not bad either. Your feat this level is Greater Spell Focus Evocation, which adds another +1 to our Evocation spell DCs, bringing our first level spell DC up to 15, which isn't bad at lower levels, and our higher level spells are gonna only get better. Third level Armored Battle Mages get Armor Training, which functions like the Fighter ability of the same name. Your maximum dexterity bonus increases by 1, and your armor check penalty decreases by 1. You also can now move your normal speed in medium armor. Back to spells, Prestidigitation is one of the more versatile cantrips out there for mundane things. Keep your tea warm and clean up after training. Last first level spells, Clarion Call, which gives your voice a booming effect that makes it easy to be heard over greater distances. You can use this to address your people during serious meetings. Recharge Innate Magic does exactly what it says on the tin. Any spells or spell-like abilities you get from your race, like Sun Metal, are recharged for an extra daily use. We get our first ability score improvement this level. Put it to Intelligence so we can start upping your DCs and concentration a bit more. 4th level Battle Mages get Spell Recall. As a swift action, you gain the ability to recast any spell you've cast that day by a number of points from your arcane pool equal to the spell's level. So if you want to cast a 2nd level spell again, you use 2 points. Pretty simple. And speaking of 2nd level spells, we get those now. Flaming Sphere summons a 5-foot round spongy ball that's on fire, which deals 3d6 fire damage to those that it rolls into. You use your move action to direct it, and targets get a reflex saving throw for half damage. Flurry of Snowballs lets you reenact that one scene from SpongeBob and create a 30-foot cone of snowballs that deals 4d6 cold damage, reflexed for half. Remember ASGORE's attack that had massive blasts of fire filling either side of the battle box? This is that. Your feat this level is Improved Initiative, which increases your initiative by +4. Our initiative is currently +11 without any outside help. You have a decent chance of going before others. At 5th level, your arcane pool upgrades a bit. You can now add a +2 enhancement to your armor as well as some other abilities. You can add the Balanced, Bitter, Fortification, Ghost Touch, Invulnerability, Spell Resistance, or Spell Storing enhancements by spending a number of points equal to the enhancement level. Not gonna go into what each of those do because it's already running long, but you can find it online free easily. More second level spells. Scorching Ray is a ray of fire that, as a ranged touch attack, deals 46 fire damage. And you get an additional ray every 4 levels beyond 3rd, so you'll get a second one next level. Each ray can target the same person or a separate person, but they have to be within 30 feet of each other. Frigid Touch is a melee touch attack that deals 46 cold damage and staggers the target for 1 round, or for a minute if the attack was a crit. You get a bonus feat this level, and we're going to take the Burning Magic Metamagic feat. Whenever you prepare a spell with the Fire or Acid descriptor, the target takes double the spell's level in either Fire or Acid damage at the start of their next turn. Because of how Magi use Metamagic, it can't be spells affected by your Bloodline Arcana. They have to be naturally Fire or Acid damage. At 6th level, we now get Magus Arcana, abilities you can spend points from your Arcane pool to use. We'll choose Arcane Accuracy, letting you spend a point as a swift action to add your intelligence modifier to an attack roll in addition to everything else. The last of our second level spells, first we'll take Fire Breath. You gain 3 uses of Fire Breath that affects a 15-foot cone. The first use deals 4d6 fire damage, the second deals 2d6, and the third deals 1d6. Everything in the cone makes a reflex save for half damage. Acid Arrow deals 2d4 acid damage as a ranged touch attack, and sticks to the target for 2 rounds, dealing 2d4 more damage each round. Another feat this level, take Combat Casting. This adds +4 to concentration checks to cast defensively, which stack with your medium armor ability. 7th level battle mages get Heavy Armor, meaning you can now wear heavy armor without the chance of losing your spells. Now you can get ASGORE's full plate and kick some ass in the process. They also get a Knowledge Pool. Using points from your Arcane pool, you can prepare spells that aren't in your spell book, in case you want to mix it up a bit. And now at 7th level, we get 3rd level spells. Start with Fire Stream, another Ifrit only spell. It's effectively a flamethrower, letting you spew fire from your hands in a 20-foot line for up to 7 rounds, dealing 2d6 fire damage to everyone in range. You can even melt some metals, like gold, copper, and lead if the fire is kept on it for long enough. Lightning Bolt is a lot like Fire Stream, but more in a single shot. It deals 7d6 in a 120-foot line, and it can also melt the same kind of metals and even break through some barriers. Another ability score increase, again put it to intelligence so it becomes an even number. The lowest we can get on concentration checks when defensive casting is now 19. The highest DC we have from defensive casting is 16. We can cast any spell we want in melee range and be absolutely fine. That is pretty damn good if you ask me. Next level, we're actually going over to Fighter, which gives us nothing but a bonus feat this level, but we do get 2 feats this level because of it, which is nice. First, take Combat Reflexes, which gives you an additional number of attacks of opportunity equal to your Dexterity modifier. This is only 1, but it's not bad. Next feat we're taking is Standstill. When an enemy provokes an attack of opportunity by moving, you can make a combat maneuver check instead of a normal attack roll. If you succeed, the target loses their move action. Remember, the option to flee was in the Mercy menu. You got rid of that option. Second level fighters get Bravery, which gives them a +1 on saving throws against fear. You stand your ground, even to the bitter end. Fighters also get another bonus feat. Spoiler alert in case you don't know how Pathfinder fighters work. We're going to be getting a feat every level from here on out. This time we're getting Weapon Focused Trident, which gives you a +1 on attack rolls with tridents. I assume this whole time you've been using a trident since it's ASGORE's weapon, but if not, just take the feat as whatever weapon you have been using. 3rd level fighters get Armor Training. Sound familiar? Well, while the Magus archetype doesn't say they stack, it also doesn't say they don't stack, and I'd allow it if I was your GM, so I'm going to proceed as though your GM is allowing it, and you can adjust if not. Your maximum dexterity goes up by 1 again, and your armor check penalty lowers by 1 again, and you can now move your normal speed in heavy armor. Your feat this level is Toughness, which gives you your level in HP, and you'll get 1 additional HP every time you level up from here. ASGORE is much tankier than the Magus D8 hit die has shown so far, and this will help fix that a little bit. Your feat this level is Weapon Specialization Trident, which means you'll now get a +2 on damage with tridents. If you didn't take Trident when we took weapon focus, make this whatever weapon you did take. We get our next ability score increase to make it strength. Doesn't do anything for us yet, but it will in a couple levels. 5th level fighters get weapon training, which grants them a +1 on attack and damage rolls with all weapons from a weapon group. The group we're choosing is spears, because that's what tridents are listed under. This +1 is untyped and therefore stacks with enhancements, magic boosts, your feats, and so on. The next feat is Step Up. If someone adjacent to you takes a 5-foot step away from you, you can make a 5-foot step towards them as an immediate action. The downside being that you lose your 5-foot step until the next round, and you lose 5 feet from your movement speed until the next round. But that shouldn't be a problem. Just stay in your enemy's range and don't let them run. 6th level fighters have their bravery increased to +2. The feat this level is Critical Focus, which gives you a +4 on rolls to confirm critical hits. Armor focus increases again this level, so again, max dex goes up, armor check penalty goes down, nothing special this time. Our feat is Weapon Versatility, which lets you use a weapon to deal any type of damage, that being piercing, slashing, or bludgeoning. Figure this works for the attack where ASGORE swings his trident like a club. Next feat is going to be Greater Weapon Focus Trident, which adds yet another +1 to attack rolls with tridents. More excitingly this level, we get our next ability score increase. Put it again to strength, bring it to an even number that is much more effective. 9th level fighters gain weapon training 2. Our bonus with spears increases to +2, and we get to choose another weapon group to get +1 in. We'll take pole arms, since ASGORE holds his trident like one, and I was surprised to find that tridents are one-handed weapons and not a pole arm. Our feat this level is Crippling Critical. Whenever you land a critical hit against a target, you have their movement speed for a minute or 1d4 rounds if they pass a fortitude save. Again, you don't let them run. 10th level fighters have their bravery increased to +3, and our feat this level is Power Attack. This gives you a -1 for every 4 points of your base attack bonus in attack rolls, but gives you a +2 for every 4 points of your base attack bonus in damage rolls. Your attack bonus is high enough that that's not really a serious penalty. 11th level fighters increases our armor training again. You know what this does by now. We also get a fun feat this level, Pin Down. Whenever an enemy you threaten takes a 5-foot step or tries to use a withdraw action, you get an attack of opportunity on them. If it hits, you don't deal damage, but you do stop them from taking that action. Final level of the build is actually kind of underwhelming compared to others. We get a feat as 12th level fighters. That feat being Greater Weapon Specialization Trident, which gives you an additional +2 on damage rolls with your Trident. We also get your final ability score increase. Again, put it to strength. Well, that's the build, but let's run it down, shall we? At the end of the build, you have +24 to your highest attack bonus, and if you land all 4 attacks, that's 4d8 plus 32 points of damage, and that's without any magic. You have +11 to your initiative, meaning you can more often than not go first and get into melee range, and foes in your melee range have a very difficult time fleeing as you destroy their mercy button. Finally, your evocation spells are hard to resist and deal a lot of damage, and you can defensive cast all of those spells without fail. Not to mention, we were even able to keep them all as fire damage. Let me know what you think of the build down below, and maybe like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and want to see more. Or don't. I have no authority over you.